You've been my savior, sustainer when I'm at my end. My healer, redeemer, again and again.
Hey everybody, it's Bobby from the middle of your workday, and we get to hang out today via Zoom with Chad from Unspoken. Thank you, Chad.
What's up? How are you?
Hanging out with us. So what I want to know first and foremost, your daughter jumps off of houses, she rides on top of your car. What have you been doing at your house with your family to stay entertained during this whole COVID-19 thing?
Well, I don't think we didn't top any of those for this
Okay.
thing. But I will say that we had a lot of parents in my neighborhood saying, hey, thanks a lot, because now our kids want to get up on the roof and jump off. We're like, well, that's up to you. That's between you and your kids. But so I don't know. We've been doing lots of songs. My daughter and I have been writing some songs, which has been kind of fun. She loves that kind of stuff. And what else? I mean, playing a lot of Uno, and bike rides have been insane. I went to go get, for April Fool's Day, I went to go get like those markers that you can draw on cars with. It's like, $1,299 down.
Yeah.
And you can get those at Walmart. So I went to the auto section and I got this, and I passed by the bike section, and there was one lone bike. All the bikes, everything was gone. So everyone has been riding bikes. But honestly, we did a ton of just 8-mile bike ride, just around doing whatever, trying to be outside. And then April Fools, we went to like all the people at our home group and family and stuff. We just wrote dumb stuff on their windows of their cars, and that was super fun.
How old are your kids?
I've got a 13-year-old boy, a 10-year-old girl, and a just about to be 7. So all of my kids had birthdays during this whole quarantine thing, except for my last one, which is at the end of this month.
So what did you do for their birthdays?
Well, my son got the shaft because it was like the first day that we were all like, man, maybe we actually shouldn't go out. It was like the middle of March.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of had a little thing here. And then my daughter wanted to have it was on the last day of quarantine or whatever. So we did have some people over, but she wanted to have this, like this party where it was like kind of illegal. And I have a police officer across the street. And so I begged him to come over in uniform and just like give everyone, a hard time. So they could legit be scared, but he didn't end up doing it, which stinks. But we did have a cake made that was in the shape of a roll of toilet paper and a mask. So, staying creative, I guess.
Oh, that's awesome. I have a 16-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and I bought a trampoline. So I thought outside, that'd be great, but because of COVID, it can't be shipped until June. So no.
That was a great idea. In fact,
it was a great idea. Almost
all of the trampolines in the stores around us gone, just like the bikes.
Yeah, and I guess it's just because everybody wanted something to do outside. I don't know. So what have you and the band been doing during this time? Have you been able to, can you get together? What do you do?
We've had some Zoom writes and stuff like that. And then I went over to our bass player's place to write. So we've done some stuff, and then we've just done a lot of, we're kind of trying to make these online concerts the best sounding and best quality. So we spent a lot of time kind of figuring that kind of stuff out. But there's been, how long we've been 6 or 7, 8 weeks on this. So, you're talking maybe 3 of those weeks we've been kind of trying to figure stuff out. The other ones we've just been hanging out and enjoying our time. It's been annoying. It's been hard. It's been frustrating. It's been stressful in some ways. It's also been really wonderful. And so I know that's not the case. In fact, we ran into a police officer in our area, and he said that they're not even issuing traffic violations or parking tickets or anything because the amount of domestic abuse calls that they're getting. And so that was super kind of sad. And so, it's not just the economy. It's not just that. Sometimes school and places like that are the safest places for kids.
Wow.
And so that was kind of heartbreaking for us, and just praying for those situations. But on a lighter note, it's, we've been trying to make the most of it just as a family.
Have you found that, does it make you more creative being, not on the road and not doing all the things? Do you feel more creative being like, in one spot, or has it stifled the creativity?
It hasn't stifled. In fact, I find myself pretty creative when I'm in my neighborhood and stuff. At my house, like in my living room.
Uh-huh.
If I have a guitar out there and my family's just doing life, then, like I'm playing and ideas come to me, and melody. So having that stuff happening around me makes me pretty creative. But, for us, creativity is really like, we're putting a lot of voice notes. My son just looked at my phone the other day and told me, "You have 1,000 voice notes, Dad." Literally. So, and then just pages of lyrics and stuff. So we kind of let the inspiration come to us, and then we store it away to then work on it when we're purposely working on it. So creativity is always flowing. But my biggest problem is that when I get bored, I like to start annoying people. And the only people to annoy are my wife and kids. So I've probably brought every one of them to tears at some point. Just stop teasing me. And so my wife always says, "Chad, you've got that look in your eye where you're looking for someone to annoy." So I got to grow up. I've realized that.
Funny. Is there anything that you have realized or learned about your family that you did not know before you were quarantined with them?
I like my wife better than I like my kids. That's something I learned. Although, every season with kids, they're just, the funny thing is that I see myself so much in my relationship to God as in my kids' relationship to me. And so like, I'm parenting my kids or whatever, and I'm realizing like I do the exact same things, with the Lord. And so it's given me a lot of insight and grace. And I feel like this whole time has really given us a little bit more grace for each other, because we've been forced to either live in misery and mad at each other or whatever it may be, or peace. And so we actually like our kids for the most part. But I definitely am a fan of my wife's pretty good too.
Awesome. Well, you wanted to play your latest song for the Joy FM listeners via Zoom. So are they around? Are you going to be able to do this today?
Absolutely. We're ready to rock. We're all at our different houses, ready to go.
Do it.
I've had good days, I've had bad days, tasted victory and defeat. I've had problems, big as planets, turn to pebbles when you speak. I've had nothing to my name, never lacked for anything, no, 'cause you were there with me. You've been my savior, sustainer, when I'm at my end, my healer, redeemer, again and again. My mother and my father, brother, sister, and friend. And everything I've needed, Lord, you've always been. And everything I've needed, Lord, you've always been. When I stand before you guilty, oh, your mercy bears my blame. When in pride I think I'm worthy, you point out the price you paid. When I wander far away, you keep calling out my name. You don't give up on me. You've been my savior, sustainer, when I'm at my end, my healer, redeemer, again and again. My mother and my father, brother, sister, and friend. And everything I've needed, Lord, you've always been. again